So one of the off products activity is to solve two-step equations using algebra tiles. So I'm gonna demonstrate how to use algebra tiles to do two-step equations. So first I want to explain what each tile represents. So this rectangular tile represents x, and this one the same size, the rectangular algebra tile represents negative x, and it is shaded. And this square represents 1, and square with shaded part, shaded square, it represents -1. So instead of using colors such as green and red, I used just shading I use shading to represent negative numbers, because colorblind people will not be able to distinguish green from red. So one thing you have to know about algebra tile is when you have positive x and negative x together, they make a zero pair and they will cancel each other. And same thing with the 1 and -1. When you have a positive 1 and -1, they make a zero pair and they cancel with each other. So I'm gonna do the first example. So the first example for either part is 2x plus 1 equals 5. So I'm gonna use algebra tiles to represent the same equation, and I'm gonna go through each step. So let's build 2x plus 1 equals 5. So I have this equal sign. So this equal sign is the same thing as the equal sign in equation. So on the left you will have 2x plus 1. So you have 2x plus 1, and on the right side you have 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the problem is the same. You have to solve for x. So you have your final goal is to separate x. So before the first step is you have to get rid of 1 on both sides. So I'm gonna add a -1 on both sides. So in step 1 you have to subtract 1 on each side. So to represent that, I'm gonna add -1 on the left side, -1 on the right side. And they make a zero pair, so they cancel each other, so they are gone. The same thing on the right side, +1 and -1, they make a zero pair, cancel each other, and they are gone. So in first step you are left with 2x equals 4, because you have 4 ones here. And the next step is you're gonna divide both sides by 2. So we are gonna group. This is first one group and another group, and the same thing on the right side, group these divide them into 2 groups. So we can conclude that each x represents 2. So I can kind of get rid of them, and x represents 2, and your final answer is x equals 2. So this is example 1 in either part modeling. So the teacher will do the same thing. The teacher will demonstrate on each example using algebra tile. So example 2, 3, 4, and for the video part, the teacher will ask students to participate, and so students will build the algebra tiles, and the teacher will give guided help. And there are 4 video problems, and for the independent practice user part, the students will work on those problems with algebra tiles independently. So there are 4 user questions. So this was one of the offline products, offline activity